Hello class, just wanted to make a quick video over the main assignment, as this will be one of the big projects you will do in my class, as along with the main assignment 2 and 3 in the final portfolio. So let's go over the main assignment, which you can see here. There's actually two parts to it I kind of want to highlight. One is, of course, the main assignment with the information, and then the rough draft for peer review here. So first click on this one, and then it'll give you instructions on what I'm asking you guys to do. And of course, don't do this until after you see my video over rhetoric, as this is a way to practice rhetoric. So let's go through this. This assignment should help you become aware of the rhetorical strategies used in advertisements. Many advertisements are trying to sell whatever product they are pushing using many rhetorical elements. You have seen such ads all your life, so this is nothing new, but perhaps this will be the first time you can analyze an ad and find in what ways it is trying to persuade you. So what I want is for you to find an ad, which I've already provided 10 of, okay? You have to pick one of these 10. Only one, however. Don't pick two, just one. There should be 10 total. I think this one's repeated. Doesn't matter, just ignore the second one. But whichever ad you prefer, whichever one you like, pick that one, and that'll be the ad you will rhetorically analyze, okay? So these are the specific requirements. You will need to choose one of the 10 ads, as I said, on Canvas, which are right here. Once you've chosen an ad, you will need to look at what it's trying to sell and how. Look at what the ad's intended audience is and how they're catering to that audience. Is it a logical appeal? Is it an emotional appeal? Or does it have any kind of credibility or ethos? Now, I'm going to tell you guys right now, all these ads here have ethos, pathos, kairos, decorum, easy. Not a single one have logos, or at least their logos aren't very strong. They're not very logical. Most ads aren't logical. In fact, a lot of these ads are in ways not going to appeal to you in a logical manner, which is fine. You have 4 other appeals in which you can write. Does this ad have a corporation or organization whose intentions you would not question? Why or why not? What about the music or lack thereof? Remember what I said about in my PowerPoint. Don't forget about music, especially in ads. Some of the music here is just as important as the visuals, so don't ignore the music, especially if you're using music that is from a third party, like from a famous singer, or it's a famous song, or it's a new song. Mention that in your paper and go into detail about it, all right? It's very important. And sometimes they don't have music. And why won't they use music? Because maybe they want to highlight certain aspects of the ad, right? Maybe there's dialogue they want to use, or maybe the music is just background noise, right? Like elevator music, not very important. So don't ignore the use of music, as it is a very important part. Ultimately, though, is the ad successful at appealing to the audience or not? So that's the idea. That's your argument you're going to make. So say you chose this Nintendo Switch ad here, right? Which you can click on and you can look at right here. Say you chose this, right? Great. Your main objective then in your paper is to argue that this ad is successful or not. And if it's successful, how? Through its use of images, through the use of music, through colors, through showing its product, through length, whatever the case is, right? And as you can see, it's using a song that's famous from Imagine Dragons, right? Why use that song, right? You're taking all that and you're writing a paper arguing that this ad is successful. Or you can go the other way. You can also say it's unsuccessful, and you talk about how it lacks ethos, how it lacks pathos, and why it's not catering to the audience. Whatever way you decide, it's up to you. And of course, you don't have to use this ad. You can use any of these 10 ads, but please choose from these 10 ads. I chose them for a reason, and I want you to stick with them. Pick only one, of course, like I said. After that, you need to write a 2 to 3 page paper, double spaced in length, with a works cited page. So yes, that means you will need to have sources to back up your arguments. For this paper, I'm required to have at least 2 sources. You can use the Academic Writer as a source or online sources. The first draft of this assignment will be due Sunday, July 8th for peer review. And that's the idea. When you're ready to turn in your first draft, you're not going to turn it in this main. This main assignment, you will turn in your mini portfolio, which we'll get to in a second. When you're ready to turn this in, you will go into modules and turn it in the rough draft section. Project 1 rhetorical analysis paper, same thing as this one, but here's where your rough draft is going to go. You need to submit it in this section, which up here it'll say submit for you guys. This is the teacher view, so for you guys it'll be a little different. But submit it up here. Make sure to upload it as a Word document. I can't accept anything else. It has to be a Word document so I can give it comments. And then anyways, although I won't give comments for rough draft, this is just for you guys' sake. Once you upload this rough draft, you will then be randomly assigned two of your peers' drafts, which you will then have to peer review. So that is a part of this assignment, is being able to peer review your peers' papers. Oops, I went to the wrong one. Let's go back. Okay, so once you've turned in the assignment, you will then receive two of your peers' drafts for peer review at random. It is your job to review and revise these papers by giving comments and making changes. Your peer reviews will be due Wednesday, July 11th for 20 points, 10 for each paper you review. So in total, this first part is worth 30 points, 20 for peer reviews and 10 for the rough draft, okay? Now the rough draft can be a rough draft. Try to make it at least 2 to 3 pages. It doesn't have to have the most correct citations just of yet, but give it your best shot, okay? Here are some general requirements: 2 to 3 pages, works cited page, Times New Roman font, 12-point font size, at least 2 sources, name, English section, paper project on the upper left-hand side, a title, and MLA citation format. After that's done, you should receive your paper back from your peers either before Wednesday, July 11th, or on that day. Either way, July 12th, you should receive all of your peers' comments back. Once you receive those back, you will then revise your paper for a second draft or a revised draft, which you'll turn into me as a mini portfolio. And this is how all of our main assignments are going to work, okay? So the mini portfolio is due on July 15th on Sunday, before midnight. And you need to include a couple more things than just the revised draft. First, and it has to be in this order, all in one document. First, a cover letter detailing your revision process and rhetorical choices. This does not count to part of the 2 to 3 page requirement. I want to see a cover letter. Basically, you're going to reflect over your process of composing this document. What did you like about this assignment? What did you dislike? What did you learn? What did you learn about rhetoric? How are you going to apply it in other places? Then, I want you to summarize the comments your peers gave you from the peer review we had on after July 8th and July 11th. I just want you to summarize all of the comments that were given to you, at least a page worth, and include it right after the cover letter. After that, the rough draft, which you will already have by this time. You just copy and paste what you had and paste it over to the mini portfolio. So it's the same rough draft as the one you turned in on July 8th. And then finally will be the revised paper that you will write after your peers give you their comments. And this is the paper you will get back from me with my comments. And you will use these comments for the final portfolio, which I'll go into much more detail. So what does a mini portfolio look like? Well, it might be easier just to show you here real quick from one of my students, just to let you see. Oh, where's a good one? Well, let's look at one. Here we go. Here's a good one. It's anonymous, so you don't know where it's from. So this is, but this is not a mini portfolio. Geez, where do I have an example one? I know I have an example one around here. I should look at this before I started the video. Oh well, maybe it's in modules. No. Bear with me for a second. Sorry. I'd just rather do this in one. Oh, here's I think a revised example of project one. Yes, it is. Okay. Here's one. Let's just download this one and take a look at it. I don't want to show you any of my students. Just one that's an example here. So this right here is an example of what a mini portfolio will look like. Or is it? No, this is a revision example. Shoot. Where is one? Oh my gosh. I am having the toughest time here. Here we go. Okay, so here's a mini portfolio example, finally. Anyways, so here's the cover letter. Again, it's just a reflection of what you did for this assignment, okay? And it only needs to, this one's 2 pages, but it only needs to be a single page. And all you're talking about is what you liked about the assignment. So here, the focus of the mini portfolio was to meet the requirements through readings and academic writer, pick up an ad that caught our attention, attention to the most, and then write a paper using rhetorical analysis to determine the outcomes and rhetorical awareness. Critical thinking, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Rhetorical awareness is the ability to blah, 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 blah. I was successful in showing rhetorical awareness. I was able to do this by being able to demonstrate that I understood what I needed to write about and what was able to explain and how and why the ad was able to try to sell the ad. Anyways, you get the gist of it. I want you to tell me your weaknesses, your strengths, anything you liked about the ad in particular. Just a page, double spaced. And the order should be in this section like shown here. After that will be the summary of your peer comments, which she put in the wrong order. No worries, we'll just move that up to the right order. She or he, I don't know who it was. So right after this section will come your some peer comments here, which I'll move into its own page. There, so summary peer comments. And all this is summarizing what your peers told you. Just a single page, and that's it, just like this. Peer comments, and then tell me what they told you. It's a good way to reflect on what advice they gave you. And if you didn't get 2 papers back, tell me that here so you don't lose points. Say, I only received 1 paper back, and I can, of course, check that to make sure. And I'll dock points on someone who didn't, the other person that didn't give you the paper back, because you should get at least 2, enough to write a full page here. And again, just tell me whatever comments they gave you. Then after that is just the first draft or rough draft, which you turned in for your peers. No big deal there. And then, of course, the revised draft, which I'll give you with my comments back here on your rhetorical analysis ad. And, of course, you can see the works cited here. All right, so that's the assignment. You'll be working on that this week. Please make sure to ask me any questions if you have any. Otherwise, it's up to you when you want to get this done. Either way, just make sure to get your first draft done by this Sunday, as that is when it's due, along with your other assignments for the week. But the main assignment or the main portfolio or the mini portfolio won't be due until the second week, which I'll remind you again on week 2's overview. All right? Okay, let's call it good here, and I'll see you in my next video.